worked and he studied theology by candlelight using discarded books that he had found. He became the pastor of the very same church that he once swept the floors, and that church eventually grew to one of the largest congregations in Philadelphia, and they named it after him, Tindley's Temple, in honor of his dedication. In 1916, Tindley wrote the great hymn, "Leave It There." During a time of economic hardship and racial tension in America, he had personally experienced great loss, including the death of his wife Daisy, and yet he continued to preach hope and trust to his congregation and trust in God's providence. The hymn arose from Psalms 55:22, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee." Tindley wanted his congregation, many of whom were poor, and you can imagine this group, they are poor and burdened, to remember the faith, that faith means not only bringing your troubles to God, but also leaving them there without taking them back. Each verse of the hymn addresses a different human trial, poverty, sickness, opposition, and old age, and offers the same remedy to each and every one of them. Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. Let me read that hymn to you. And Pastor, he approved, Ryan. I can go till I'm done tonight, so just hang in there. So leave it there. If the world from you withhold its silver and gold, and have you to get along on meager fare, just remember in His Word how He feeds the little bird. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. Leave it there, leave it there. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. If you trust and never doubt, He will surely bring you out. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. If your body suffers pain and your health you can't regain, and your soul is almost sinking in despair, Jesus knows the pain you feel. He can save and He can heal. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. When your enemies assail and your heart begins to fail, don't forget that God in heaven answers prayer. He will make a way for you. He will lead you safely through. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. When your youthful days are gone and old age is stealing on, and your body bends beneath the weight of care, He will never leave you then. He will go with you to the end. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. Leave it there, leave it there. You take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. If you trust and never doubt, He will surely bring you out. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. What a great hymn. I mean, what a great truth that is. So tonight, the art of casting burdens. The art of casting burdens. And I'd like to read that psalm again. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and He shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But the whole text is coming from Granny's favorite verse, and we all know it so very well. Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. If you've ever had that wonderful release of that moment where you were able to just cast it all on the Lord, and you know what, I dubbed it in the notes, I'm kind of not reading it because I've been studying it, but I dubbed it in the notes that God's got it moment, right? That God's got it moment, where you just sat back and said, God's got it. God, did that come from Grant? Where are you at, Grant?